Nathan gets swayed in the back of his weenies. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, his dick is so big that it rests behind his knees.
We're not allowed to say that, Lauri.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so now...
Would your old boyfriend be upset if we said that?
Well, he's not that old. He's your age.
Oh, he's old.
Does he get mad when Lauri says that?
No, but I think he feels like...
He knows about it, though.
Well, no, he is aware of the age gap difference much more than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, like, look at me and look at him. You know, isn't he a personal trainer and stuff? I think.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be. I'm just blowing smoke.
I don't think he knows you're saying.
Like
I think what
this.
Nathan is saying, he's just aware of the age difference.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me, but I feel like sometimes he gets like his back lasered and stuff. I'm like, why are you worrying? He's like, because I have a boyfriend that's 10 years younger than me. And I'm like, well, I don't really care, but go for it.
Okay, let's see here.
Oh, hey, I got a refund.
Oh! Great. And now you can be present for the episode. Hopefully you don't get subpoenaed at Afterthought Media saying, can we please have any recordings to do with this?
Yeah, it'd be a real shame if someone got pissed off and sent it to Amazon.
Oh, what are they going to do? Have me pay for it again? Whatever.
Okay.
Plus, I'm literally buying more stuff from them. So it's like, you know.
Yeah.
In the end, it's just coming right back to them.
Yeah. Oh, also, can you guys not... I'm not saying you guys do this. I think someone did like Jay or something. Riverside can be very... Maybe Jay just had a shitty computer, but Riverside can be very, like, I don't know, sensitive. And so don't open other, like... In fact, I'm even closing everything I can right now. Other unnecessary, like, especially Chrome windows or anything like that. Because it fucks with everything.
Okay.
That's the one thing. Okay. So
Bloody Jay.
Stupid
I know
Jay.
you're talking to me, but yes.
Actually, I was talking to Nathan.
Oh.
Yeah, I did Google jicama.
Did you really?
Yeah. When we were talking,
yeah.
I was like, oh yeah,
that might have been
before.
it.
Oh no, what did that do?
It just threw the syncing off.
Oh.
Actually, also too, it messes up my voice.
Oh.
Really?
Mm-hmm. My voice got weird.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I sounded super gay.
What?
I don't think you can blame that on Chrome.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I sounded like Carson Cresty all of a sudden. Okay, let's see here. Is anybody even listening or watching? Let me see. 4 viewers. All this drama. I'm not. You know what? I'm gonna find out what the end. But if there's nobody watching, I'm not gonna do this live anymore. I'm still gonna do it on video. I'm still doing it on YouTube, but we'll just do like a day later, like the premiere where they can watch and comment at the same time. Because actually, more people watch those because it's at a better time and everything and whatnot. So, anyway, are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Yes. All right. Here we go. Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Show for Season 15, Episode 3, titled The Queer After. My name is Joe Betance, and I am joined, as always, by 2 heavenly co-hosts. First, from the podcast Bravo, Bravo, effing Bravo, please say...
You were underwhelming. You weren't as good as everybody else.
To Nathan Patrick Brown. Hello, Nathan.
Hi, Joe.
How have you been?
Underwhelming, apparently, but no, I've been well.
Yeah. You know, I did take a peek at the Discord's live viewing of the show, and they had some really good suggestions for clip 0. But since I always like it to be a surprise, I was like, well, now I can't use those clips. They were good though.
Okay.
Speaking of, from Bloody Podcast, from Bloody Podcast, please say
That bitch honestly would in somebody's station.
to Lauri Roggenkamp. Nathan, especially after that Just Between Us girls, do you disagree with that statement that Lauri would shit in somebody's station?
You won't hear any disagreements from me.
Yeah. Lauri, how are you?
Good. I just shit in someone's station. I feel clear.
Yeah, you feel really, really clear. What Lauri was talking about, what I was talking about is, we do a show called Just Between Us Girls, and you can only find, actually you can find it in two places. You can find that on Patreon at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia at the executive tier level and above. Or you could just pay like $5 or $6 on iTunes, and you get Just Between Us Girls at the exact same time that everybody else gets it. So there's that. So we've covered the Patreon, we've covered the iTunes private feed. You don't got to deal with Patreon. Got to scroll up and use your Apple Pay or whatever you do to pay for it. And the other thing too is we tested it out last week. It went really well. Now we're opening it to the public. There's been a little secret that I've never talked about on this show. Nathan might know what I'm talking about, maybe not. But for years, we had this service we used called Mixler. Mixler.com/afterthoughtmedia. And I never really talked about it because it was open to the public, but it was really a benefit for Patreon supporters. But the public could listen, So I didn't really talk about it because they have a private feature, but it didn't work really well. It's very easy to bypass that private feature. So I've recently gone back to Mixler. We didn't do it for a while, and now we're back, and we're doing Bring It to the Runway with Christian and Robert and myself live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, live on mixler.com/afterthoughtmedia. It costs nothing to listen live. You can chat with everybody else. You can interact with me and Robert and Christian and listen live. Very simple. They have what's funny is Mixler's a really good app. They have a really good app that you can put on your phone and listen live. They have, and you can interact live on your app, on your phone, on your app, on anywhere, just mixer.com. And then the station, if you use the app, is Afterthought Media. So every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Now, by the way, if you just get it and subscribe to our channel, you will get alerts, email alerts about when we're live. Because I've been toying with also going live just for a little bit after I watched the show. I didn't do it this Friday because there's not really much to say. But yeah, so there's a bunch of things. Once again, mixer.com/afterthoughtmedia. All right, let's jump right into it. This week, the queens promote their own versions of Drag Queen Heaven. And on the runway, the category is Metallica. Sasha Colby's named a winner of the challenge, while Princess Poppy and Amethyst square off in a lip-sync battle for their lives. Amethyst was told, Shantae, you stay, while Princess Poppy was asked to sashay away. Ladies, name two things you liked about the episode and one thing you did not. Let's start with our special guest. I forgot to mention this last week. We have a rotating set of guest co-hosts. We had Robert the first day. We had not Christian. We had Jay Ellis the second time. So for episode 3, we have Lauri Roggenkamp. Hello, Lauri. What are the two things you liked about the episode? The one thing you did not.
Hello. I will say that I liked the looks. I thought the looks were fun for the most. I also liked I don't know. I liked the show, I guess.
You liked the show, okay?
And what I didn't like was the challenge. I thought the challenge was super boring, and almost all of the videos made 0 sense.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, yeah.
Nathan?
I liked T.S. Madison on the judging panel. I thought it was nice to have a break from the standard Carson-Ross rotation. And I'm just happy to see her there. I think she'll be good to have as a regular guest co-host, just like Lauri. And the other thing I liked was the runtime. Now, I know that's controversial, because I've seen people on Twitter just blowing up saying it was so rushed. But I thought it was great not to have to watch everything in rehearsal for the challenge and then watch it again when they show us the acting videos.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved that. The one thing I didn't, it's sort of nitpicky, but I did not like Selena's runway look. And The fact that I was batting so hard for Selena is
Yeah.
why I'm so disappointed, because she's not really brought any looks that have been any good. So I'm a
Yeah.
bit disappointed in her, and I'm
Yeah.
starting to suspect maybe I have overdone it with my love for her from the Meet the Queens.
I think one of the most shocking things I heard this week, one was that Lauri was a biological woman, but two was that Selena S. Titties, I just found this out on Reddit, so you know it must be true, not Mexican.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, not
Wait,
Mexican.
what?
Yeah,
Wait, what is she?
she's Honduran,
Oh, okay.
but she's using a she's strutting she's working a Mexican aesthetic, but yeah, not Mexican,
Oh,
That's wild.
and
That's
not from Los
that's
Angeles,
wild.
from San Francisco.
What?
so
Yeah.
many things that are wrong
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. I know.
Selena S. Catfishies.
Yeah. So, okay, here's the things I liked about the episode. Yeah, I found it. I struggled with this one. I liked a lot of the looks. Not all of them, but a lot of the looks I did like. I agree with you, Nathan. I think it's a perfect length. I think nothing was lost. I was talking to someone earlier today, and they thought it was too short. And let me give you my argument why I don't think it was. And then the thing I didn't like was I don't feel this was an acting challenge. Maybe this is a good thing, but I don't feel like really anyone showed that they were good at the acting challenges on this one. I think everybody seemed mediocre at the acting challenges. I sure hope they're in a lot of acting challenges this season.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Let's tackle the length right now, because it has nothing to do with any plot line of the show. A lot of people are very angry about the length. And what I would say is, I promise you, whoever's listening, you did not miss anything really good. I'm telling you probably saw really the best stuff on the show. The one thing I would say is, okay, maybe the runway was a little short. It could have benefited from being 2 or 3 minutes longer. But that's more of a MTV thing about how much commercial time they want than it is about, because I wouldn't extend it another half an hour.
And we have 15 queens, so like that problem will get better as the season goes on.
That problem will get better as the season goes on. That problem will get better. Everyone wonders how they're going to handle 2 snatch games next week. We'll find out. But the one thing I will say, I know they're not doing it next week, is I don't know why there can't be a medium for like seasons like 7, 8, 9 or something like that, or whenever until they went to the full hour and a half show. They would do a mix. So they would do mostly 1 hour episodes with a few special supersized episodes thrown in. I don't know why they can't do that again. Well, I know they can't because of this stupid gays, the Real Friends of West Hollywood. But
yeah, what are your thoughts about that, Joe? I don't feel like you really went into it last time. So what are your thoughts
Lauri, you're being funny, but I cut all that out of the public feed show. So the public feed, when they hear this, will not know what you're talking about, that we did like 20 minutes on the Real Friends of WeHo. They'll be like, what is she do? She's right. He didn't talk about this. Mm-hmm.
I really want to know some background tea, because you're on the show. So what's what's RuPaul like, I guess? What?
You don't get to interact with her. Everyone's talking about it. I think I told this story in the show. I don't know if it made it to the public feed. Is when I was at Disneyland and I was with Jay. I was actually with Jay and his boyfriend. And I got this text message from Lauri, who sent a screenshot of Mistress Isabel Brooks and said, I didn't know you were on Drag Race. That's what she's referring to.
You know who really, really loves it is Star, my fiance.
Mm-hmm.
Star, every single time there's a shot of Mistress, Star goes, that's Joe. That's Joe. That's Joe. So it's been fun. We've really bonded over it. I feel like we're falling in love all over again because of this.
Yeah, probably why the Amazon delivered our threw the packages over the fence.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She's like, I don't want to interrupt their love bonding. Again, guys, reference to Just Between Us Girls. So anyway, I just feel it's been a mix. Nathan, what have been your thoughts on the hour-long episode?
I thought this episode was perfectly timed, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, in that I didn't feel it was rushed. There were a few moments where they were sort of writing the scripts where, like, in defense of Sugar, she was coming off as super annoying, but you could tell that they were just cutting everything she said and squeezing it together to cut out the other people's interactions. So I think they were intentionally making her look more annoying than it was. I thought she had some good points, actually. So I think in that respect, like, if that had more room to breathe, maybe it would have come across better. But then we blew through the runway. I was fine with that because there's 14 people. But then we have that mirror moment that went for 23 minutes. So that's where it didn't.
Lauri, what about you? What are your thoughts? How do you like the length of the episode, Lauri?
I mean, to be honest with you, I loved this episode because I felt like it was shorter, but I still felt like there was stuff that they didn't need to have in the episode. Like, there were still moments where I was like, okay, you could have cut that. We could have cut this shorter. We could have cut this shorter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think that the longer are really ever were given like amazing in the things that are great, they'll put in the episode.
Yeah.
So.
No, you're right. There's no great and here's the other thing too is, and this would take this. You see, the problem is when you get stuck in these ruts. I've said this about Drag Race for a while. Is they're basically stuck in a rut that would require some major painful cuts to get out of this rut. Is they can't think outside the box. It's impossible as an organization to think outside the box because actually the thing that you do is any stuff that you were on the fence about whether it should make the hour-long episode could go into Untucked. You could do a longer runway in Untucked.
Oh,
you could do you use Untucked for like, oh, there was this moment. They used to do it in the really old ones. There was this moment on the show that we didn't make it to the show, but that was really interesting. That could go on Untucked, and then you can only show that, and then you could leave. That leaves you not having to fill an entire half an hour of them just licking each other's ass the entire time. Use it sort of as a, here's what happened behind the scenes, but also here's stuff that didn't make it in the episode, but that was really good. And so
I think that's a great idea. You should.
Yeah, but they can't. Yeah, they can't.
That.
They can't. Yeah, but they can't. As an organization, they can't do that. They not that they not allowed to. I think you have a lot of people who've been there a very long time, and they're very like, well, that's not how we do things. Like there's one guy who, since the dawn of time, has written all their stupid scripts, and that's his thing. He doesn't want to give it up.
Yeah. Well,
and that's sort of that's sort of the poison that happens with these kinds of shows that have been around for 15 seasons. Is they become a family, and sometimes you need to like fire everybody and bring in fresh blood to have new ideas, and they can't do it because they're all family, and so then they get stuck in this rut, and then the show, well, not only the show's going to get canceled, but then the show does not get better. It's basically I'm calling for term limits on Drag Race. All right, let's move on. After Irene's elimination, the queens bid farewell to Irene and get the tea on Amethyst and Robin's romantic relationship. The next day, RuPaul enters the workroom to announce this week's Maxi Challenge. It's an acting challenge titled The Queer After. In 3 teams, the queens will create infomercials depicting their version of the afterlife. Anitra and Amethyst are named team captains, and each take a turn casting their commercials, leaving 5 girls as the leftovers. The teams, well, do we need to know? I think we'll talk about who's on each team as we go through it, but what did you think of all this moving forward? Let's start with you, Nathan. What did you think?
I really liked how they divided the teams just on teams, because I thought that was a fun way to do it, where like one queen picks 4 and then the other, or 5, and then the other queen picks 5, and then there's just the leftovers. I thought that was like a fun new dynamic instead of like going one by one.
And then you just don't have one person also. You don't have one person who feels like shit.
Yeah. And I loved that Amethyst like intentionally split up the twins. I thought that was good producing from Amethyst. And the thing with this whole segment, though, that was making me laugh was how they kept in every single thing that Princess Poppy said that was just indicating that she's next to go. Like when she was like, fuck you, Irene, you were first out, sucked in. And then she was like, see you losers.
Yeah.
It's just like, babe, you are building yourself up for an epic fail.
I think RuPaul at that moment was like, I'm kicking her off.
Yes, I think so.
She
like,
set it up.
That's going to come back to bite you.
Don't write the script for them. Lauri, what about you? What were your big thoughts and everything that happened?
Yeah, I loved it because, like Nathan said, you don't have one person at the end that feels like shit. You have 5 people at the end that feel like shit. So it was great because it was like it almost kind of became like a rallying cry. I just wish they would have used that as momentum. I felt like they all just sort of were like, they didn't really. I wish it started off with such great promise in the picking of the teams. I thought, oh, okay, here we go. The leftovers are going to be like they're going to be the ones that come back and they do a great job, and it just didn't turn out that way. So
Since we're talking about the leftovers, let's talk about who they are. They're Jax, Sugar, Robin Fierce, Mistress Isabel Brooks, and Malaysia Baby Doll Fox were the leftovers. All right. Any other thoughts? Did we capture everything? Nathan, you have something to say?
Yeah. So what did you guys think of Lucy, like after the elimination? She was like, I am so angry that I was in the bottom. I disagree.
I
And I'm thinking,
know, I
watch
know.
yourself back.
I know.
Like,
I know.
yeah,
she was, this is lighting a fire. And I'm like, you
Yeah.
weren't misunderstood. You were shit.
no.
Wait, hold on for a second. Sorry, my Alexa was making an announcement. What were we talking about?
Lucy.
Just how Lucy has an inflated view of herself and her
She
performance.
does. And
Let loose, Lucy, let's loose.
yeah, she has a really annoying voice. Did we talk about that too?
We can.
Yeah,
Can
and
I-
then go ahead, Lauri.
Star and I got in a little bit of an argument because, so I don't know why this was such a big deal, but Star is adamant that Lucy is a trans man. Adamant. And I was like, I looked online and I couldn't find anything, and I was like, no, he's just a like a a more effeminate man. Like that's fine. And she's like, but his face is so fem. And I'm like, do you want to fuck Lucy? Like what's going on? So
Well, I don't think that
Here's-
was the face that he was born with.
yeah, oh yeah, that's
Oh, I see. That could be true. But also, look, here's the deal. If there was a trans man, as we saw with Gottmik, they would be promoting that shit like nobody's business.
that's what I was
over
saying.
and before the show, after the show, on the show. It
And
would have
Lucy
just-
would be saying stuff. Lucy would be like,
Yes.
as a trans man, like
Yes.
that's how they would
Yes.
start their sentence.
Yes, and the first mirror message would have been like, like them putting on their makeup. I don't know why I have to act it out, but like, so Lucy, did you ever get any kind of flack for being a trans man? Well, yes, I did actually.
So yeah, we genuinely got in a fight because Star was adamant that this was the case, and I was like, no. I mean, honestly, I feel like if anyone would be, it would be the twins. They seem more. But I mean, I don't think it's wrong. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that I just thought it was interesting that that's the thing that Star seemed to that, and the fact that you look a lot like Mistress Isabel. Those are the things that Star's really grasping a hold of.
Lauri's gonna ride this Mistress Isabel Brooks thing until it lands.
I will burn this to the ground.
By the way, last week we were talking about Nathan. You were saying, "Oh, Robin Fierce and Amethyst dated,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "They did," and you were like, "Nobody said because nobody watched Untucked that they talked about it on Untucked."
I did
Oh,
watch
yeah.
Untucked, but I didn't do a close watch.
Well, I
Yeah.
also love how Robin was like, if you want to know what happened, ask Amethyst, because I'm not talking about it. And literally, they talk about it, and I'm like, oh my god.
By the way, there was nothing to it. They were like,
Yeah,
No,
that's
a few
not going to
days, yeah.
get them further in the competition.
"Yeah."
Yeah.
All right. And then the next day, we said, "Oh, they walk in, and Anitra's doing that duck walk, and they're like, 'You better walk this fucking duck.'" And I'm like,
It's going to happen every episode.
Yeah, it's the fetch of this year. Every year there's a fetch,
Yeah.
And this is the fetch now. The fetch is the duck walk. Well, there was that controversy this week. I don't know if you saw this with Aja LaBeija coming out and saying that wasn't a real duck walk. She was calling it a
Nogging.
a nogging. Thank you. That she wasn't voguing correctly and whatnot. And then everyone started fighting back. I'm like, oh, these bitches have nothing to fight about. Oh, how about the part when they were picking teams and whoever Lucy LaDuca is on whose team? Let me see. Lucy was on
Amethyst, because she said
team-
Lulu Duduku.
She said, and then Lucy was like, I need to make sure that RuPaul. It's thank you, it's Lucy LaDuca, and like looking back at RuPaul, and I was like, okay, bitch, she knows your name, okay.
Well, she's not going to remember it, but she knows
yeah,
it for the
RuPaul. Yeah,
moment.
you know what? You could tattoo your name on RuPaul's eyeballs, and she will not know your name.
She wouldn't know you. I don't know how
Some of
she'd
these
see
queens
that
are
if it
so
was
funny.
tattooed on her eyeballs, but
Yeah.
no. And also what I love is that Amethyst goes, my great pal, Lulu Ledoux.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of being introduced in stand-up of like, this lady's very funny. We're great friends. Lorraine Roggenkamp.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Give it to my good friends, Betance. All right, in the workroom, the teams get to work creating their infomercials. Team Anitra casts Sasha Colby as God. Team Amethyst imagines a Dolly Parton-run heaven, and Team Leftovers finds out Jax has named herself the leader. Lauri, let's start with you. Any thoughts on anything that happened in the workroom?
Oh my God. I actually later on will agree with Mistress about this Jax moment where she moves. Was it Sugar? She moves Sugar. I would have literally when she was like, "I'm gonna move you over here," I would have been like, "Do it, bitch. Try and move
It was a really bad look for Jax
Yeah.
this whole episode.
Also,
100%.
I would love to have a moment with Jax where I go, I want you to sit down and I want you to tell me exactly what you fucking wrote. Because she kept saying, I wrote the script, and it's like, what the fuck was the script? Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't even brag about that. I know.
No way.
yeah. And she kept saying, we're gonna write everything down. It's like, what? What are you writing down? What's the thing? What is this about? Like it was so stupid.
Well, it seems what happened. This is my guess. We can talk about this when we get to the filming thing. Even though I have a new policy for the show, I learn a lot of times I'll say, let's talk about this later. And then I never talk about it. Right. So let's talk about this now. But it seems like what Jax was doing may have been, let's write what everyone's ideas are. And then you do your thing, you do your thing, you do your thing, you'll do your thing, while I'll do my thing. And I think that made it very confusing.
Yeah. Because that's not you can't perform that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I thought was so funny was when Jax was doing that at the table, and Mistress in confessional was like, fine, okay, Jax, I guess I'll step aside and you can be team leader. And I was thinking, when did Mistress get promoted as team leader in
Yeah.
the first place?
Well, that's a very Joe Betance thing to do. That's probably the thing that's most like me and Mrs. Isabel Brooks, is that they just assume they're the leader. You know, you know what's so funny is, last week I said that I wish the twins would drown.
Yes.
And I think, like Mistress Isabel Brooks, Mib, I've sort of come around. Not that I like them. Not that I like them. Actually, I have some negative things to say about them this week and some critiques to give, but I just don't wish they would drown now. They're just in the general, I'm indifferent to you category.
They're young. They're young.
Yeah.
They're dumb.
Well, here's what I'll say is you can be a narcissist like Sugar is and just think everybody wants to hear her talk, but also a good person, i.e. Lauri, And so I think, yes,
Wait,
what Jax did.
What? You
What?
think I'm
What's the
a
problem?
narcissist?
Well, I think you talk a lot. I'll just say that.
Excuse me, who invited me on the show? Who asked me to be here?
Nathan. Anyway, so the point is, Sugar was being a little annoying, but I don't know why Jax was like, well, then I have to be the one who step in. Now I'm the leader. I'm like,
yeah, and because I actually think Sugar was being like a little bit funny, like her ideas were funnier than the others. Like when she did the cracked out Beyonce bit, like I thought I could see that,
Yeah.
that was at least an idea, whereas everyone else was just putting forward, I don't know what.
Well,
By the
also
way-
oh, sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead, Larry. Go.
I was just saying no one was adding on. I feel like one of the things that makes these collaborative writing sessions or sessions so good and it helps with filming is that people, they won't necessarily say no, that's a bad idea. They'll say let's add on, or let's focus. Or I will even say Mistress did a good job, or she was like, hey, I like where your head's at. I love your enthusiasm, but we need to keep it geared toward being gay. And whether you disagree with that or not, I think that's a good thing that she was sort of like, she was more steering her in the right direction. But Jax was just like, no, we're not going to talk about anything. You're going to say what you're going to do, and I'm going to write it down.
Well, I think Jax is right in that the other two groups had a natural born leader, not natural born, but a leader in place, in that Anitra and Amethyst were the people who picked the people. So they were seen as the leader. Whether or not they were the leader, there was a person to look to. Whereas Team Leftovers didn't. And look, I'm not saying that they should have thought of this. Who would think of this in the moment? But they probably should have chosen someone to be the leader, just voted on someone to at least be like the person who's like the Jax, what Jax was thinking he was doing. But it was just offensive that Jax decided he was the one who was going to do it without anybody asking and pushing Sugar aside. Which, by the way, the one thing I'll say about the twins is, yes, they're annoying, and yes, they talk a lot. But the one thing I'll give them is you can kind of tell that they've been used to being told to shut up. And then if you push back a little bit, then I don't think they're going to really fight you. I think they'll be like, oh, okay, all right, you're right. As long as you give them their turn. Like if you say, wait your turn, Sugar, I think she'd be really cool. I actually do think they're good team players. At the initial impression, you would think that they wouldn't be, but I actually think what we saw is that they are actually team players. But Jax didn't make her say, let's make this a team effort. She shut her out completely.
She moved her, and which I thought was so degrading, and it was just so rude for no reason. I mean, she's just genuinely excited, and she wants to talk ideas. And instead of saying, "I love your enthusiasm," and let's take it, let's slow it down a little bit, or doing something productive, she goes, "I'm going to move you over here because you're driving me insane."
Yes,
I would have been like, "Fuck you! I'm staying right here,
no.
and if you want to move me, you're going to have to do it."
Yes.
I will stomp on your 4'5" bitch ass frame.
Yes. We heard in Just Between Us Girls. I want to say a couple of things. One, I want to give major props to Spice, believe it or not, for choosing that shirt that looked crazily like her real skin. Like it matched her. I was like, is she wearing just a no tatted shirt? Is she just all tatted up and this is her like body? Like it looked so much like her real skin. It was distracting. And also I want to come back to this thing that came up last week. Why do the twins think they're the only one that they think they have this secret language that no one else has? You remember that part where like somebody actually tells Spice? I can't remember, was it Lucy? Lucy goes to Spice and says, "Look, I don't think your sister's really having a really good time." And she goes, "What? Oh, you're right. She's not." Right? And then Sugar's face is like literally like droopy, like mouth agape. And she goes, "My sister and I have this thing. We can tell when the other one's pissed off. I can tell when she's..." I'm like, really? Because the world can see that she's really pissed off.
That's twins, though. My mom one time.
Oh, that's right. Your mom's a twin.
My mom and my aunt are identical twins. I'm a fraternal twin, but my mom and my aunt are identical twins. And my mom one time, my dad and we're having dinner, and my dad answers the phone and goes, "Oh, okay, all right." And my mom's like in the bathroom or something. And my dad says, "Oh, Lauri, when your mom gets out of the bathroom, let her know that Kathy is in the hospital because she had like appendicitis or something." Right? And so I go, "Okay."
Wait. We have, again, per usual, we have a lot to unpack. Your dad. Wait, stop. Right. Your dad answers the phone. "Hello?"
Yes.
Okay, that's great. All right, thanks. "Hey, Laura, I gotta go do something. Tell your mom, who's in the same house as I am, and in the bathroom, that her sister's in the hospital with an appendicitis."
He had to leave. He had to go. I think he had to go somewhere.
But Lauri, his sister-in-law, his wife's twin sister, is in the hospital.
Yeah. He had to leave. He had to go somewhere. She was fine. She was in the hospital. There's not much.
And this relates to Sugar and Spice House?
No. So my dad says this, right? And the bathroom's not that far from the living room. Like, I can hear when I'm in the bath, I can hear them talking. So my mom comes out and just goes, "I have a weird feeling that
Oh.
something's wrong with Kathy." And I was
That's
like,
hilarious.
"Yeah, she has appendicitis. You heard? Did you hear?" She goes, "Oh, that's what." Okay.
She could feel the pain.
Yeah, and I was like, "You heard it from the bathroom. You didn't have this feeling. You weren't like telepathically, you know." So yeah, they used to do that all the time.
Nathan, any other points?
Just on Sugar and Spice, I'm starting to think I'd like them a lot more if they were actually competing as a pair, like as one person, because
Yeah.
they are doing the same looks. Like
Yeah.
they're doing this like twin look where like it feels like kimono gate every time because Sugar will walk out and then Spice will walk out and the same thing but a little bit different. So if they were competing as one person, I think I'd enjoy that more.
Yeah,
Not a bad
that's-
point.
I also would like it to see a little more competitive nature. I would love it if like
Yes.
Spice just threw Sugar under the bus a couple of times. Like I think that would be great.
I don't think they will.
No.
No, they love each other too much. All right, Lauri and I are. Do you have any siblings, Nathan?
I have an older sister.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'd
on
throw
that
her under the
note,
bus.
he would. He already did. We're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the rest of the episode. Does anyone need to take a break for a real reason or anything, or Lauri?
Can you real quick?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
If she's doing that, I might just go take a shower real quick.
I think he really is going to take a shower. Hi, everyone. I'm going to go over to the YouTube chat, see what everyone is saying there. I have a message, too. Let's see what this message says. A text message. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go look at these messages here. Oh! Let's see what's going on. Let's go to the top. Hello, hello, hello. I'm watching. Hey, guys. LMAO Lauri. Mixler OG here. Sarah Yu. I'm late, damn it. Why do we ever stop with the Mixler? Why? You know, I think we stopped because, you know, one of the OGs might know why we stopped. Like Luke or something. Just to finish late. Joe isn't wearing a black shirt. He's not. He's trying out new things for the new year. Also, he has makeup on to hide the brown spot. I think he did a good job. You know what I did this time? Is I applied the makeup on camera. So that I'm all okay. How does it? Because this is what people are going to see it on camera. Let's do makeup for the camera rather in real life because it's a little trickier. First time seeing y'all's faces. 40 minus is fine this week. Not sure about next week at the double snatch game. Hello, hello, hello. From Tone Ring. Hi, Tone Ring. Fine with the length too. For once, I didn't stay at my phone. Yes, exactly. Tone Ring says the mere moment that went for 23 minutes where Sasha and Marsha suddenly appear halfway behind them. And then they have to look back at that and notice it. He's yo. This is Luke, by the way. Hey, y'all. You should just join the Discord. You should join the Discord, Weissner. Hello, Phoenix. Is that Lauri's aunt? Who is Vice? Oh, yeah. Who is Vice? This is Ayaz Waz, also known as Yaz. Oh, okay. Yaz Waz. Hey, Yaz. So, wait. So, Yaz, you don't know. You're one of the most original OGs of all time. Alex Irwin. So, wait. Lauri made out with her twin? I hear the banjos. LOL. Oh, yeah, we do know that.
I did not make out with my twin.
Lauri, I'm just reading the chat room.
We kissed once. For a play on the mouth that twins, like brother and sister do.
Oh, that's right. Astute Girl's right. She says, didn't we stop because people were being super bitchy and saying, why would they pay when they could get the show for free? That's exactly what happened. Wasn't it when people realized they could listen to the Patreon shows for free? Yeah.
What channel is this on?
I'm on the YouTube channel.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Now, Lauri, I'm going to go if you want to talk to when Nathan. I'll wait till Nathan. Oh, Nathan's back. All right. I'm going to go to the bathroom. Entertain the audience while.
Okay. Let me pull up the. Do you have the YouTube channel up there, Nathan?
No.
Okay.
I always worry that Joe will yell if like I'm looking at anything because he does love to yell.
That's why I didn't have it up because I was like, I don't want to. Oh, here it is.
Imagine if we did.
I know. Oh, okay. All right. Anybody have any questions? Joe's probably a fast peer, so. Anyways, I hope everyone's doing well. How are you doing, Nathan?
Pretty
How's your new
good.
job going?
It's great. And for all of this month, I'm just working from home. Like the bosses are all
Oh,
taking like the whole of January off, so it's pretty breezy. Which is nice.
wow.
Yeah.
They can do that? That's awesome.
Well, like we were encouraged to take heaps of leave, but because I started early, I didn't have as much leave accumulated, so I couldn't. So I just took. But they
Oh,
shut down for 2 weeks, which was great.
oh, that's nice.
I don't know what leave's like in America, but we get like 4 weeks leave a year at least.
No, no, no. I mean, I teach, so I technically could get like a whole summer off, but I mean, most of the time teachers end up doing summer school just to make ends meet.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of like the district I'm in, they don't prorate your paycheck, so you only get paid for I think 10 or 11 months. So you have to save money for the the amount of time and you get paid monthly. So it sucks.
Oh wow.
But yeah. What's the story behind your new tattoo? Oh, hello, Octavia Robles. It's just a Friday the 13th. There was like I always wanted to go, and there was a tattoo shop by my school, so I went and they had place there. They had a spot available. So, but yeah, I mean Star right now, she's worked at her job almost a year, and she's only accrued about 3 days of leave. So
Oh, that's rough.
I think I want to bring it back to me here for a second. I think I should wear lighter colored shirts. I think that this color brings good skin tone out for me. What do you think, Nathan?
I think you look great.
Joe, your skin tone has never been an issue. Your complexion's amazing. You have great complexion. It's just all the fat that's
There you go.
filling your face.
I was waiting for it. I was like, where's this going?
I feel uncomfortable giving you compliments, just as much as you feel uncomfortable taking them. So I have to always, add something.
It's the same thing. Like, it's the same thing with me and you. I don't. We come from families where people do people compliment each other in your town, Nathan? In your family, I mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Like your mom says, "Wow, Nathan, you have a really big cock." Stuff like that.
No, why?
Not that one
Why?
in particular.
Oh.
If your mom said that to you, Nathan, how would you react? What would you say?
I'd say, have you been listening to Afterthought? I told
Yeah.
you not to listen to that.
What you say?
Last
Mom,
night
put it
she
back.
was like,
"Oh, shut up and put it back in your mouth, Mom."
No,
Are we going back yet? Have we started?
I'm gonna
yet
be
or
back
no?
in. Like, why? Do you need something before I write it
say, I
down?
hope
No,
not.
I just wanted to give Trots Away a shout out. Hey, Trots Away, before
okay.
we're back on the air.
Okay. We're gonna be back in like 5 seconds.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2. Wrong one. Nope. Nope. Stop. We are back. By the way, there was some speculation on the Discord. What do you guys think of this? Because that commercial constantly comes up where it's from the show saying like that podcast with. Has anyone listened to that podcast with Alec Mappa and who's the other person on it? Squirrel Friends podcast. It's like Alec Mappa and I can't remember who the other one.
I know
is.
who it is. I like both of them, but I just
Yeah,
can't think of the.
It's that comedian, the one who said. Remember? Anyway, she that it says the only official RuPaul's Drag Race recap podcast, and they felt there were some
Lonnie
people.
Love.
Lonnie Love, yeah, ooh, she's very funny. I've actually,
I love
very
her.
very funny.
yeah, but
But if I want to listen to someone with like no drag knowledge mouth, I'll listen to this program.
But do you think some people are speculating that's World of Wonder's way of differentiating their show from our show? That we're not an official Drag Race recap podcast.
Oh, you reckon?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's official, officially for me.
I don't think anyone's listening to this thinking we're the official ones since we rag on the show so much.
Yeah, you should change.
World of Wonder.
You should change your name to the OG.
We should name. I should change Afterthought Media's name to World of Wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
World of Wonder. And
There
then
we
just
go.
be like the official World of Wonder podcast.
Yeah, and then do like the real gays of,
Of Palm
Diamond Bar.
Springs. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the infomercial recording. The three teams hit the set with director Michelle Visage to record their infomercials. Team Leftovers takes an improv approach. Sasha Colby from Team Anitra stumbles on her lines, and Team Amethyst fails to make Michelle laugh. Nathan, let's start with you about everything that happened in this recording. Any big thoughts there?
Not a big fan of Michelle being director again. I don't know why they keep pushing her on. Like, can we not get a guest or someone to help?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I laughed because Jax was saying that, like, oh, my group had a lot of big personalities, so we had to deal with that. But I think looking at the three groups, their group had like the least amount of personalities. What do you think on that?
Lauri?
I think it was a fat joke. I think she
Oh,
was
you
like,
reckon?
Actually, a
we
big
had-
fat personalities. Yeah.
yeah, we had big personalities because they both had Mistress and then Foxy on there. So
Foxy.
But
yeah, or
based
whatever
on
her name is.
what is her name?
Malaysia Baby Doll Fox.
Yeah, Fox.
Oh.
Fox. Baby doll.
Yeah. So, because the thing is that the only personality we saw that was kind of big, because Malaysia and Mistress seemed to behave for the most part.
Yeah, they were reserved.
Yeah.
was Jax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before and after. Before he's like, I'm gonna take over, right? And then afterwards, he was like, if anyone wants to know, I wrote this. Like, I don't know that I'd be taking the
I
credit
would not
for
brag
this.
about it.
Lauri, what were your thoughts here on this whole filming thing?
Horrible. I mean, why don't they do like a tie-in if they have an official podcast? Why don't they have Alec Mapa and Lonnie Love be the directors? And actually try
You're
and
right.
give,
You're
like,
right.
good comedy ideas. Also, what was it with Michelle Visage? Did she take a downer before she came?
Yes.
Did she
She was in
mainline
a
heroin?
It's like somebody told her sister was in the hospital with an appendicitis.
Yeah, she
Like-
was just in. It was like her and the camera person were having a side conversation because he would just be like, "Oh, this isn't
Yeah.
going to start well. This is not going." It's like, can you enunciate? Can you?
Yeah,
actually do
you're
your
on
fucking job?
television. Yeah.
Yeah, and she had no. I love how at the end she tells Sasha Colby, "Oh, when I gave you direction, what direction? Do it over." Like that. That was the direction.
But it was like, do it over. You can do
Yeah.
better than that. And
yeah,
you're like,
she's the I mean, she's like a wet mop. Like even in filming or even doing filming, you need people there who are going to be like receptive and be like, okay, that was funny. Here's how we can do. She in no way did that. And so to me personally, look, the sketches were not that great, right? But they could have been better had they had a good director. And she basically like torpedoed any chance of those scenes doing any better than they could have been. It was so infuriating to watch her. She just seemed like it seemed like she was forced to do this against her will. I was so frustrated.
So that was I think we kind of talked about Team Leftover. So like, yeah, so Jax said he was the leader, but then he's like, I don't know what's going on. Well, then you're not a very good leader, Jax, are you? So there's that.
No, and improv while you're filming rarely ever plays. You need to
No.
improvise earlier to when you're writing it down so you can figure out what the game of the scene is, what's the funny part, what can I add, and then maybe when you're filming, if you have a line or something that you want to say, you can go, okay, maybe I'll try saying this line, but you never improvise entire things
Yeah.
the day of. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. Which was the name of, by the way, Lauri's improv group. Let's go to
where we filmed everything day of. So,
Team Anitra, by the way. Marsha says, I love this. Remember, Michelle Visage is the director. Okay, remember this. Marsha, she was like, what are you guys doing, Marsha? And Marsha says to her, I don't want to give away too much. You're talking to the fucking director. I think the director needs to know what you're going to do. I don't want to give away too much. But I kind of need to know.
I
Yeah.
thought that was so funny because it was definitely like she was like, "It's a secret," and it's
Yeah.
like, well, it's not gonna be for long, and
Yeah.
it's not gonna be. It's gonna be awkward when it happens.
And that's the one with Sasha Colby where Sasha Colby flubs the line and Michelle's like, do it again. You can do
Yeah.
it better than that. And then it's like they're trying to make it seem like Sasha Colby's sucking, and meanwhile they're like, "Oh, she was amazing. She was great." You're like, once again, the lies.
Well, that's another thing that frustrates me is that they will do that where they show somebody flubbing a line or messing up, and that's like a bad thing. It's like it happens. People flub their lines. They they forget stuff. Everyone has nervous energy. That's the name of the game. But they were making it seem like Sasha Colby was like basically shitting on stage, and of course Michelle Visage was just like, all right, go again, but this time try to be better.
Yeah, Michelle was in the mood. Nathan,
Yeah.
let's go to Team Amethyst. Nathan, did you have any thoughts on them? But when Princess Poppy was like, "I wrote this."
Oh yeah, Princess Poppy was doing the most, and
Yeah.
I feel like it really backfired on her throughout this
Yeah.
episode. But I hated Amethyst last week and in the Meet the Queens, but I didn't think she was that unfunny with the gagging on the.
Oh, really? I thought it was very
Slash
unfunny.
banana thing.
Well, see,
I thought there was
Yeah.
humor in just like pulling a face and not saying anything and barely pulling a face.
Yeah. Lauri, you were saying
making
something. What were you
ice
saying,
water.
Lauri?
So dirty comedy is hard because a lot of new comedians, a lot of people who are not very funny or don't understand comedy will go directly to dirty acts or to get that like wow factor. And that's not a laugh. That's just like oh look, I'm sucking a dick, or I'm going deep throating a banana. And dirty comedy sort of has to be earned. It has to be, you have to work up to it. And I felt like they didn't earn it. They just did it in weird spots that were never really fully, the game fleshed out. It sort of was just like left to flounder. And so, I didn't think I thought they did a poor job.
Well, also the Amethyst thing made no sense. Like, I'll give you a good example of kind of what she was doing, that it's corny but made sense. Like, there used to be a sitcom in the 70s that was pretty dirty for its time called Three's Company. And it was always the same fucking joke, right? It would be like Jack and Chrissy are putting up a shower curtain in the bathroom, right? And the doors closed, and the landlord, Mr. Roper, would come over and he'd hear them. And, maybe it was like, with the scene that we see is that it's hard to reach, and they're going, and then Jack would say, talking about the shower curtain rod, like, pull it, and she's like, it won't come out, or something like that. And then Mr. Roper would make this stupid face going like, whoa, what am I hearing, But at least there was a logic to the scene. They're putting up a shower curtain, Mr. Roper's mishearing, and there you go. This one, what is the logic here? She's kneeling in front of a pit crew guy and eating a banana? Why?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
I think
also
all three
holding
of
on to
them-
his thighs and pulling her like. What are we misreading here?
Unless that's like a new thing where you suck a dick while you're also sucking on a banana.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't make any sense. But I mean, the Three's Company never made sense. I don't understand why that.
No, I'm not.
member
It
was
didn't
so
make sense, but at
invested
least there was
in-
a logic to it.
Yeah.
This one, there's no logic. You're literally, the pit crew guy is in front of you. You are holding the back of his thighs and shoving your face back and forth motion
Yeah.
onto him, and then you're gagging on a banana. Why would any of this be happening? Nathan, go ahead.
Well, he was probably holding the banana. And
Okay.
I feel like I was on board with it already because have you guys been to like a sex show in Amsterdam?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh yeah,
Because
I'm constantly there. Yeah. Which
Joe
one
and
do
I are
you go
going-
to, Nathan?
Yeah, Joe and I are going next weekend.
I can't remember the name of it, but it had like an elephant out the front, like the pink elephant. Or
Oh
something like
yeah,
that.
trunks.
Oh, yeah,
Trunks.
trunks.
Well,
Yeah.
I went and I got pulled up on stage. Like
Wow.
I was on a Kentucky tour.
Well,
and
that was where the elephant got
Yeah.
embarrassed,
The gay boys.
Lauri. When Nathan came out, the elephant was like, "I'm out of a
Yeah.
job later."
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
like,
long story
literally-
short,
He
Us
he
That's
four
not
little
what the
curled
elephant
his trunk.
said.
Yeah, he curled his trunk. He was
Yeah.
like, he curled his trunk and he just like felt his trunk and he was like, I'll
Yeah.
never match.
Yeah.
I'll never match up to that. Yeah.
so a performer put a banana in her vagina, and then we all had to take a bite. And so I was the last one to take a bite, and then she like clamped her thighs on my head, and like I was trapped in there. So I've had a banana out of a vagina, so I got it. You know, I didn't have that mental block.
I guess I go to I go to different sex shows than you do in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I don't get the eating the banana. Did you get yourself medically tested after that? What I don't understand what the
Well, no, but like I was like, oh yeah, I could have a bit of fruit, and so I actually went to like peel the banana a bit more because it was in its peel. And she slapped my hand away because I think she thought like I don't know I was trying to touch her or something, and I was like, I don't, don't worry about that. But yeah, I don't. I mean, I was also high, so it's Amsterdam.
My brother one time went to a bachelor party where they had a stripper, and the stripper took some lollipops and would stick them up her vagina and then hand them out to each member of the bachelor party.
That's different.
Yeah, that was weird.
By the way, Princess Poppy was like, I wrote all these jokes. I'm like, why are you? This was the worst of the three. This was the worst one. Why would you
Also,
brag about this?
It's an acting like they're filming. It's an acting. They're acting. That's the challenge. It's not a writing challenge.
Yeah.
At the end, it doesn't go like, oh, here we're gonna make you safe because you wrote it. Like it's an acting challenge.
Yeah.
They all overthought it. Like it was queer afterlife, and then for the leftovers, we're doing the good place where it's like heaven for a straight girl, hell for them, and it's like just do hell. Just do hell.
Yeah.
Or like
You're
just
right.
do heaven.
You're
And
right.
they were all like, oh, we need queer icons in heaven. And then they were naming all these celebrities that are still alive. And I'm like,
Yeah.
do these queens think these people are dead? Like, do they think Beyonce's dead?
And
Well,
then
that's
some of
because
them-
that's what they do. They're like, like, so Lucy was like, I don't care what happens. I got to do Dolly. She even said it. She goes like, if I don't get to do my joke, I'm going to be real pissed. And you're like, and your joke with a okay Dolly Parton? Like, why would Dolly Parton be there?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, I agree with you, but the Dolly Parton was the best part of that whole bit. I mean,
No, you're
actually
right.
was, yeah.
That
It-
I
as
don't
sad as it was,
disagree.
I feel like they should have added more Dolly Parton. I mean, it makes no sense, but it
Yeah.
was like that's the best part.
All right.
So-
Did we cover this whole rehearsal filming thing?
Yeah, the rehearsals went for 2 seconds, and we've talked about it for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, it's elimination day, and the queens get ready for the runway. Sugar wants everyone to cut loose and have fun. Jack scripted her group herself, and Malaysia Baby Doll Fox and Mistress Isabel Brooks share their religious trauma. Well, there's no one better to go first when talking about religious trauma than one Laurian K. Roggenkamp. Laurian, any thoughts on this elimination day?
I feel like I kind of liked how the baby doll
Foxy.
Fox, yeah, Foxy.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how she sort of opened up and talked about her religious experience and how she identified and then still struggled, because
Mm-hmm.
I still think that's definitely an issue with the gay community, especially with men, especially with Black men, is there's very religious families, and they
Mhm.
have that is an issue. So yeah, I thought it was great that she opened up about it. I didn't really see anything wrong with it. I like this part where the queens get to open up with each other and they share parts of their lives and their experiences. So yeah, I liked it.
All right, Nathan.
I didn't like it. It went too long. And this Jax, I find, is so annoying because she says, like, oh, since this challenge was based around religion, does anyone identify as religious? And then she didn't even listen to Mistress and Baby Doll have that big conversation. She was on the other side of the room.
That shocked
She
you,
just
anyone?
got fed the line, she said it, and then she checked out.
Yeah. I like that Sugar faked out the cameraman and the director, in that the cameraman was filming Sugar and Spice have a conversation about what happened, and Sugar her face started to go into like she's gonna start crying, and she didn't cry. She went like,
Yeah.
anyway, did anyone see the newest episode of? And you're like, and I'm like, oh, and then you see the camera zoom in on her because the camera sees, and she goes,
Cameraman got a hard on.
They told me I'm not funny, and I was like, anyone know where the lip liner is? And you're like, oh, that was a big nothing. And it goes zoom. You feel the zoom go in, and then she's like, "Anyway, what are you gonna wear?" And I was like,
That
"Oh,
was
she
great.
faked them." They actually used it in the promo though. They were smart. I go, "Well, at least we're gonna make it look like she's crying."
That was great. I like
Yeah.
that.
She didn't cry. Like those girls have emotions. All right. Any other thoughts on Elimination Day? All right, we're gonna actually do things a little backwards. They did the looks first, and then they did the videos. But let's do the videos first, the queer after, and let's go through them one by one. The first ones that they did were Team Anitra is the first group that they did. That's the one where it was Sasha Colby, and she keeps breaking her neck. What were your thoughts on that, Lauri? Oh, was that
This
yeah,
one-
Lauri? Okay.
This one was the most coherent and had the most logic, and it was still very confusing. Sasha Colby played God, right?
Yeah.
Who's up in heaven, who's doing a promotion, but she has to kill herself every single time she wants to cut to another scene
Yeah.
and break her own neck. So she has to kill. So she's God, Almighty, but she has to die
Yeah.
to move to like it made no sense. And then at the end you find out that it's not heaven, it's Palm Springs. That's just the whole bit, is that, oh well, we just move all the queens to Palm Springs, and then it said Palm Springs where queens go to die, so they're not dead yet. So it's really just like Palm Springs is like the purgatory, and then heaven is something else.
Well, I think the joke is there's a double joke because Palm Springs is where old gays go to retire. It's a very gay city, but it's also very old. And I would say it's like I'm on the no. There's a lot of young people there too. It's for everybody. It's becoming young, but it's a lot of old gays live there. So, Nathan, there's a lot of like sort of I feel like hype about Palm Springs. Is that a place you would like to visit when you came out here, Nathan?
I'd love to actually.
Why is that? I'm curious.
Just because I've heard so much about it, about how fun it is. Like drag brunches, pools, desert weather. Great fun.
Weren't we supposed to do BetaCon in Palm Springs at some point?
Yeah, that's what
I wanted to, but I think we might have to just do it with the hosts because the Afterthought. Here's the deal with Afterthought community, and this is a good plug for it. If you have social anxiety or anything like that, Afterthought Media and its Discord is an amazing place for you to congregate. You don't have to. I mean, you can. Nathan's giving me the finger right now. You can communicate with people as much as you want to, and then also like once BetaCon became like a serious conversation. BetaCon, by the way, everyone, or AfterCon, was a thing where we were going to have all the hosts and we were going to have everyone meet in Palm Springs during its Gay Pride weekend, which is the first weekend in November, and everyone was like, "I'm afraid to meet people." Right? And you're like, okay, well, I don't want to call anyone out by name because they have social anxiety, but there were some people who were like, I love you guys, but I don't want to ever meet you. I don't like meeting people. Somebody was going to go in the form of like a cardboard box and their voice would only come out of it. It was a whole thing. And so I was like, well, I guess we'll just have to do the hosts.
Yeah.
We'll just have to do the hosts.
We could do a virtual thing.
Oh, yeah, it's not a bad idea.
That's
We're all
not as
together,
fun.
but it's virtual. Yeah.
Well, I liked the button about Palm Springs. I thought that was like at least some sort of narrative sense in a way.
Yeah.
And I just loved how Sasha was holding that giant fish bowl of like wine, that giant glass of wine. Like that's just like a comical prop. Whereas
Yeah.
I don't think any of the queens had anything funny. And did you notice like Lux was in this scene? I thought she faded into the background completely, but she ended up being in the top for her little therapist scene.
Well,
Yeah,
I know. Unfortunately, we have these short episodes, which is fine. There's just no narrative arc for her in this episode, but she probably did well.
I thought it was funny that callback about Marsha wearing like just enough makeup. That was funny about it, but I forgot she was in the scene. And then when she was in the top, I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, for me, this is the only video of the three that had a narrative structure, had a story. They basically took like a Christmas Carol, right? And they just did it, but like gay afterlife. The neck bit, RuPaul was like dying, but they did like this. It was weird. It's like they did this crunch thing, and then all of a sudden it was. And then I was like, it's not that funny. And then she'd break her neck again and be like, and
And in the next two videos, there was nary a titter. Like,
oh yeah,
nothing.
it was like I was like, that was it. And then, but I feel like I've seen that either on Drag Race before or some sort of like viral video where I feel like the old joke is, I don't know where I've seen this before, but let's say it's a man and a woman. This is what I remember seeing. And the woman is nagging at the man, right? And he's just like, oh God, and then breaks his neck, right? And he goes to heaven and he's like, oh my God, I'm in heaven. And then the nagging wife sees that he did this and she breaks her own neck and then she goes to heaven and starts nagging him. I've seen something like that. Lauri I want everyone to know, because we're on video, Lauri was not next to the microphone. Then she went next to the microphone just to yawn.
I tried to block it, so I show my yawn, but
yeah.
go
ahead.
Oh shoot, I lost what I was gonna say. Yeah, sorry. I totally had a thought and then it just fell out of me. So
No worries.
never mind.
By the way, we still got a look over there, and multiple times I was like, oh, not with this fucking bit again.
That's what I was gonna say. They recycled a lot of like old, like they said, look over there, and I mean, honestly, this was the best one, and I feel like if you put this in like season 8, this would have been the worst one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, next we have Team Amethyst. I'll be honest with you, I'm not trying to be shady. I didn't like this. The first one I understood I could follow. I really couldn't follow the other two. They didn't make any sense. Nathan, let's start with you. Team Amethyst. The one with the gagging on the banana.
Yeah, so the one thing I liked was that Lucy didn't sing as Dolly, so that's a saving grace. And that's about it.
Yeah. Dolly Parton should have narrated this. She should have been the narrator. Like how Sasha Colby was the narrator. She should have been the one. She should have been introducing everyone. And
well, was Lucy the narrator at the beginning? There was some sort of weird voice.
No. It was just I don't know who it was, but it wasn't it wasn't Dolly Parton. I don't know if it was
They
Lucy,
dipped in and out of narrative structure.
I almost wonder, hear me out. I wouldn't be surprised, I'll say, is if it was Dolly Parton, but Lucy's impression relies on the visual, and when you don't have the visual, you just hear like a really annoying high-pitched voice, so like if
That
it was
could be.
like, hi everybody, it's me, and you're like, ooh, is that Carol Channing or what's going on? Well,
Carol Channing.
I guess this one is just doing her own thing right here. And you're like, okay, well,
hello,
whatever.
nice man. Hello,
Yeah.
nice man. This is Carol Channing.
Hello. And I just said, you know what, Rue? Up here in heaven, when I do my thing, the guys just come over here and bite off my clit.
So I feel like the bit of this one was that like all these things that you like to do, like getting pampered, getting a facial, were all sexual innuendos. So like you got a facial and it was just a man, jizzing on you.
Spraying douche water on you. I didn't
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
that wasn't either of the terms that
Yeah.
facial can be.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, as a lesbian, so
Mhm.
maybe I'm not a gay man. I think I've made that clear.
What?
And I mean, do you guys feel like if your heaven would be going to a place where you're just constantly being like rammed?
That's a
By
good
a
question.
hot
Lauri,
load in the
what is
face.
your heaven? What is your heaven, Lauri?
Oh, well, my heaven would be that I'm just like I have a nice like area that I can, that's my own, that I can be in my own area that's just got 24/7 Chipotle, and pasta, and every episode of any crime procedural is available that I can watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I go out and I I can make people laugh at night, but it's not too late and it's not too early. It's just the perfect time. And then and then I just go home and watch everything that I've ever wanted to watch. So.
Nathan, what's your heaven?
Similar to Lauri, I want to just indulge in whatever I want to indulge in, have lots of like dogs around me, but I also want to have like complete awareness over like all of human history. Like just
Oh,
dip in and
interesting.
out.
Yeah. That's really good.
That would
I
be
would
really
love
good.
that.
Those
Like,
would
I
be my
can watch
TV
it
shows. My TV shows would be able to
that-
pick a moment in not U.S. in
Yeah.
world history and
That's
look
really
at it.
good.
Yeah.
That's really good. I wish I had thought of that. That's really good.
But you know
Well, you
what's
didn't.
funny is, and this is just my particular area of interest. I mean, look, I would look at the obvious ones, like I don't know what, the assassination of Kennedy, but I think mostly want to see just normal people living in the medieval times,
Yeah. Yeah.
like just a normal person, just a normal village, normal day in like ancient Egypt.
Like,
you
how
know.
does a Viking use a bathroom?
Yes.
That would be interesting.
Yes.
Honestly. I would go to like the set of Glee and just see what Lea Michele was really up to.
Oh, or like whatever happened to Baby Jane, and just watch
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
scene
watch them
unfold.
interact.
Yeah. Just see like all the the behind the scenes stuff.
Mhm. Or when
and just
Lauri
see
made out
what's
with her
true.
brother, I'd want to go
I
and
did
see.
not make out with my brother.
I'd love to get resolution on that.
I did
Yeah.
not.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to follow Joe as he, is on the 15th season of RuPaul's Drag Race and just see his journey.
Oh yeah.
And see how he does.
It's quite the exciting journey that everyone's seen. I think what you would see is me going to McDonald's in the morning.
Well, so it's not new then.
No.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. And then finally, Team Leftovers. Your thoughts here, Lauri, on Team Leftovers?
Okay, so this one is we're gonna have to unpack. So this one is, so the drag queens are doing an infomercial
Yeah.
for basic bitches, basic drag queen fan bitches,
Yeah.
to go to their heaven, which is a drag queen purgatory.
Yeah.
Where they are constantly having to interact with these basic bitches, but they want you to come. They want you to call them,
Yeah.
but they are in purgatory and they're doing things that they hate and they're being punished for it. But they want these basic bitches to come.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're making an ad to go to something that I think they even described it as their hell. Like they're in hell, but it would be your heaven. You should come to this, even though in theory, because we hate interacting with you, we don't want you there.
But the thing that's so frustrating is like, so they had this thing. I think they called it dragatory or something.
Yeah.
It
You're
was-
right.
It was purgatory, right?
Mhm.
So purgatory is not hell. Purgatory is, and I maybe I'm nitpicking, but purgatory is essentially the middle space, the very like it's the nothing. It's just the middle level before you go to hell, right? It's decide if you go to heaven or hell.
Yeah.
So in purgatory, you're not necessarily doing things that you hate. You're not being tortured. It's just not anything good. It's nothing. So they could have had jokes where it's like, here in Dragatory, everyone's safe every episode or something, where it's like,
that's good.
you're not losing or you're not, so there's jokes on the table that they could have had if they had done it where it's like, this is Dragatory, but instead it was like this onion where it was like, it's not Dragatory, it's Dragatory, but it's kind of like drag queen hell, but it's really basic bitch heaven. And it was just like, what? Why?
Lauri was talking too much. I broke my neck.
Yeah.
What about you,
so
Nathan?
That's what
Oh,
I
I
hate.
agree with Lauri. It was too meta. They were trying too much, and I just kept thinking, why do all of these people have jobs in the afterlife? What's the economy of the afterlife?
Yeah,
Why?
good point. I was gonna say that once again, Sugar did that glitch face, the one eye open. If you're a hot, attractive person, to you being funny and silly is closing one eye and that's funny.
Well,
that was gonna be her Beyonce, and she did it. In
They're hoodwinking all the gays. I was on Twitter and I saw so many people be like, "Oh, Sugar 8," and I was like, "8 what?"
A bowl of cereal. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh no, Nathan killed himself. Oh,
Yeah.
he's back.
I made a bit of a racket.
also they go like they had Mr. I think it was either Malaysia or Mrs. Baby Doll. One of the fat ones was like, you got to lip sync for your life, and then Jax and somebody else did not lip sync. They just danced.
Yeah, they just danced.
They just
And
danced.
then they were like, you have to do it over and over again. And it was like, yeah, maybe because they haven't lip synced yet. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why. Maybe they need to do that.
The one thing I will say, and this shows how everything was like, you do this scene, you do this scene, you do this scene, but there was no cohesion. That last bit was pretty good, where they go to the that was the best bit of the thing, where they go to the meet and greet, and they were all playing. They were like, they had Baby Doll Fox was Silky Nutmeg Ganache, and Mistress Isabel Brooks was Eureka. Somebody was Shangela, and then somebody was whoever says look over there, Jada Estes Hall. And that was kind of funny. And they were like, all right, bye. We hate you, but we asked you to come.
Yeah. But then they
That
were
was
like,
okay.
and then call us. Like, why?
You literally just showed that you hate us.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go over to the looks. We're going to briefly talk about the looks. Nathan, I have to personally apologize to you. Last week I was joking. Lauri just broke her own neck. Last week I have to apologize. Last week I was joking when I said, you said, oh, we're not going to talk about the looks, or you talked about the looks, and I said something along the lines of like you stay in your lane. Christian doesn't come here and talk about the show or something. And I felt, even when I listened back, I'm all, oh, that sounded really serious and cunty, but I was being funny.
No, that's fine. But in preparation, I did not write notes on the looks for this one.
That's fine. You
I
didn't
thought
have
we
to,
were.
but were any looks that you remember that you wanted to talk about?
Well,
or?
I thought Sasha's was good. I really enjoyed that. And I just loved how Mistress had this big chain for no reason.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Just so
I liked that.
stupid.
Mhm.
So that's what I liked. Yeah.
Yeah, why did
Lauri?
you wear that chain, Joe? That was weird.
You know, I just felt like I didn't have enough metal, so I thought I'd put more metal. And so wait, why is Detox here? I don't know why Detox showed up. Okay, Lauri, go ahead.
I liked the looks. I thought they were all, creative and fun. The one thing I didn't understand was the way
Time?
Poppy was
Oh.
the way Poppy was walking. Did she have to walk that way because of her dress, or was she walking that way just because that's how she walks? Like, it just seemed like she was kind of drunk. So I don't know. That
Poppy
was-
either got a really bad edit or she just is an idiot and is unlikable as a person.
Both can be true. So
Like, why was she always flipping people off?
that's her thing. That she's popping the middle finger. So I got to tell you something here. I actually think Sugar and Spice looked really good on the runway. However, and maybe this is a longer conversation for Bring It to the Runway with Robert and Christian, where Christian will actually fight me on this. The entirety of RuPaul's Drag Race is not the looks. Anybody can buy the looks, especially these queens. They have the money to pay for a designer to do it and whatnot. And also, they do sick makeup, but that's not the entire show. But they did look fantastic. That said, I do have other notes. What were the other notes I have right here? I don't know anything about the looks. I don't remember what it was. I think we all got. Nathan, you were going to say something.
Well, on Sugar and Spice, they look amazing, but they're just doing Bratz doll looks every week.
Yes.
So, we've already runway number 1, Marsha got a talking to, other girls got a talking to about padding, and I just think, how long are they going to get away with just being a doll?
I don't know.
Well, they look great because they look great. I mean, they're attractive.
Yeah,
so they're
that's
gonna
the
look
thing,
great in
yes.
drag.
That's very true. That is very,
I mean, it's
very
like
true.
what was the queen from season 7? I think Valentina. I mean, she was great because she looked great and she had flawless outfits. So I think
that
it's
was
like
the thing too
yeah.
with what's her name? The Australian one from season 6. Courtney Act. That was the thing. She didn't have to put on a lot of makeup. She just naturally looked beautiful and just did a touch of this and that, and that was it. And she had great looks. But That's not the whole show, and I think I want to see how they are when they're individually having to perform. All right. By the way, I forgot to mention this. The category this week on the looks was Metallica. Let's moving on. On the main stage, RuPaul named Sasha Colby the winner of the challenge and places Princess Poppy and Amethyst in the bottom two, forcing them to face off in a lip sync battle for their lives. The song "Ain't No Mountain High Enough" by Diana Ross. In the end, Amethyst wins the lip sync, and Princess Poppy is told to sashay away, leaving 14 queens in the competition. Ladies, any final thoughts on the episode? Let's start with our special guest, Lauri. Lauri, did you have any thoughts on the lip sync, on anything? Have any notes been given that you haven't given yet?
Yeah, the one thing I loved how Jax was saying, "Oh, I had written all this stuff," and RuPaul was like, "I don't remember you saying a line. What lines were yours?"
Yeah.
Just totally calling her out. She's like, "Well, a lot of my stuff got shelved because girls kept improvising."
Yeah. Well, then
She's
she
like,
should
"Oh,
improvise.
okay. Yeah. I also loved how Poppy was like going into the crowd and like, look at all these girls. It's like, yeah, they're here. Like, what? I don't understand. Like, you can go into the crowd and and I mean, I don't know if RuPaul hates that, but it's like, do it, but have a fun bit with it. Don't just be like, I can't believe I'm here with the girls that I've been doing a show with this entire week.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was so weird in that moment how they were like, oh, you can do that for any other song, but this is Diana Ross. And I just thought it was weird to justify that, like, because I thought Poppy was a more enjoyable lip sync to watch, and I would have saved her over Amethyst. But they're all like, oh, but it was Diana Ross.
Yeah.
Well, look, I don't agree with the Diana Ross part, but I am sick of drag queens pointing to their vagina. Just sick of it. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's fun. I don't like it. And I'm not laughing. Lauri, what do you think?
I I can't point to my vagina because the camera doesn't go up this high, or go down that low.
No, high was right.
I'll zoom out that wide.
Yeah,
Do you have a wide vagina, Laurie?
I do. I have a
question.
very wide. I
You
have
do?
a wide. Yeah, it
Is
starts
that a
at
common
my
thing? Because I've heard of that.
right knee and then near my my left titty. No, I mean, I think, I don't know. I'm a big girl, so I feel like I have a big everything. I have a big vagina. I have a big,
I don't know.
everything.
I don't know much about vaginas, but I didn't realize that was linked.
Well, if you're talking like this is going to show you how much I know. If you're talking like the hole, no, it's not very wide. But if you're talking like the actual like, fupa and everything, that's it. That's big.
Fupa?
Yeah.
What's a
It's like the upper part that drapes over the vagina.
I think I went to high school with her.
Yeah.
Fupa? I don't even know her.
Fat upper pussy area is what it stands for.
Oh, so it's not an actual term.
No.
Okay.
One thing I also thought was funny was that when they gave Amethyst critiques about her nose, and then RuPaul says, "I'm a nose queen," and meanwhile her nose is
A little
toward
button.
to next Sunday. So I was like, and they're trying to tell her to accentuate. Although I do think that Amethyst does have a great nose. I wish I had her nose. I wish I had my nose. I feel like is a weird nose. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's all my thoughts.
Yeah, I identify as a big nose gal too. But if when Michelle was like, "I love your nose," I love your nose, and Amethyst was like, "You guys don't have to keep gassing up my nose." She doesn't believe in the compliments about her nose, and I sort of agree with her there. Like, you don't have to do that.
Well, there's like a level of compliments that are kind of, I feel like, are a little not necessarily backhanded because they're not saying a diss, but they just feel like almost, I don't want to say woke, but just socially they feel like they need to be said. I feel like it's sometimes when
It's like, I love your giant beak nose. It's like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's like, when people say like, "Oh, you look beautiful. Your face is so beautiful. I'm so proud of you for," and it's like, okay, I'm just, let me just live my life. Thank you to the Academy.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Be sure to join us next week and every week. Oh, by the way, Lauri, do you have any plugs?
Bloody Podcast at Lauri You Liar on Instagram, and I have a podcast coming out soon called Case Sensitive with two friends of mine, so keep an eye out for that.
Where'd you find two friends?
Well, but I had to task grab it.
Do you know about this joke? I don't know about it.
I have to pay them $25 an hour. It's getting pricey. So
All right. Well, anyway, be sure to join us next week and every week as we continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct each brand new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 15. So, for Lauri and Kay Roggenkamp, Nathan Brown, and myself,
Sashay away until next week.
thank you for listening to RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Have something to say? Leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/afterthoughtmedia or email us at dragracerecap@afterthought.media. For more Drag Race and LGBTQ content, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. This episode was produced by Luke Stamen and Zach Birch. Nathan Brown has two other podcasts. The first is Breaking Down Bad Books, and the other is Bravo, Bravo, Effing Bravo. You can find those podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find Nathan on Instagram at NathanBrown90. Follow Joe Betance on Instagram at Joe Betance. Special thanks to these expensive tier Patreon supporters: Alex S., Anonymous, April Pacheco, Astute Girl, Brad Coley, Carter McKinnon, Karina Williamson, Deckhead, Devin McKay, Doofus Maximus, E. Smith, Elizabeth Timmer, Emma, Humble Pie, J. Thomas Plank, Jesse Harris, Lauren Eckert, Lucy Carrasco, Luke Stamen, Mike Yeager, Nicholas Springham, Nikki Baker, Poppy Woods, Ricardo Herrera, Robert NYC, Sarah Yu, Tom Bombs, Travi Cosmos, Troy Anderson, Zach Nelson. Drag Race Recap is an Afterthought Media podcast.